What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and insert a warp. We are now accelerating a concentrated acme particle. Hello everybody and welcome back to some more Stoneblock for today. I've got some good news and I've got some bad news. The bad news is I gotta make a particle accelerator today. For those of you who've seen my FTB Skies 2 series, it was a bit of a problem. I didn't show all of it on screen, but it involved tests upon tests and messes upon messes, and it was a pain, and it gets really big. So I went ahead and I made all the blocks that I was gonna need for it on my own time. They're not too difficult for you to get as long as I've gotten all the processes of a bunch of other things done beforehand. I was just able to set a bunch of this other stuff up to auto crafting, minus molten carbon. I couldn't figure out a good way to do that outside of going for cows, but I don't have a cow, so I just had to do that manually. I just went ahead and made these guys so that way we can at least go ahead and get this basic thing set up. But it can get really big and really problematic. That's where the good news comes in though. There is an add-on mod to this, which adds the particle accelerator magnetic field. This baby, I have also set up to auto crafting, but I don't think I actually set it to go through yet. Now I just need to wait on that. So while I wait for that, let's go ahead and head into my new compact machine. I added another one for this. So what we want to do, oh, hey, and it's done. Okay. So what we want to go ahead and do, this can go ahead and be my center. Actually, I'm going to want to go ahead and set my spawn point in here, aren't I? Here's how this is going to work. We've got these guys right here. Very, very useful little things. These are called the particle accelerator guide rings. This one's called the linear motor. What these guys can do, and this is really pretty, you see this little outline right here with those little points here? Where those points are, you can right click this, and that's where your turn is going to be. So I want these guys to be able to turn around these corners. But the faster that this will go, the harder it is for it to make these tight turns. And so that's why it needs to get bigger at some point, because that way it can make those wider turns. It's very technical in a lot of different ways, and it's a little bit hard for me to fully explain, but yeah, there we go. It should be like that. And then as for the rest of these empty places, this can, whoop, that was the wrong way. That's why that outline's there, to let you know where it's gonna go. This is going to speed up the particles to help it build up that speed that it's going to make this thing harder for it to stay small. As for why these two right here are just the way that they are, well, that is because this is where the actual particle accelerators are going to hook onto this. We're gonna need two of the actual accelerator blocks. We'll get to why later, but just know that they need to be connected to an actual particle accelerator ring. The rest of these guys are just going to involve me putting in a bunch of power.
1 minute later.
Alrighty, so I got all these in place. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and insert a warp into this one. That is then going to send that particle through, and yeah, look at that. We are now accelerating a concentrated acme particle, and it's gonna, yeah, once it reaches a certain speed, it'll shoot out at the side. We were able to reach a speed of 293, and I don't know how much the energy is. All I know is that it needs for me to be at certain energies for certain crafts to work, which involves certain speeds. I don't know the full extent of it. I just know that if we want this to be better, that is where this baby is going to come into play. So we can go ahead and slap this guy right here. I'm gonna need to put power on this thing at some point, but for right now, we should be fine. So I believe then I just need to right-click this, and then right-click this. And so yeah, now that should work. But here we go. Now we've gotten this thing ready, we can put power on it and it'll be fine. But as it is right now, I don't think it'll actually be able to help our purposes. We need to upgrade this thing. And there's some pretty cheeky ways I can do that. I'm gonna show you guys. So for those of you who know Oritech, you would know about add-ons. You can get a pretty penny of those guys. And actually, I have a few add-ons on some of my other things right here. We've got these efficiency and speed ones on my pulverizer because that thing's just so dang slow. Well, why does it make that sound? Hang on a minute.
5 minutes later.
Okay, so, turns out, funny story, this is completely unrelated to the video. I am gonna need new headphones. I don't know what was happening, but the audio in here was like distorted for some reason. And so I grabbed like another pair of like headphones that I borrowed from my dad. My headphones have been kind of in a bad shape for a while. I hadn't changed those since I first got them in like 2021, I believe. Those are like my oldest pair. They're the first I ever gotten, and I've never changed them. And they've been in a pretty beat up state, but they had been functioning. Well, now it appears they're no longer functioning properly. So I know what I'm getting for my birthday that's coming up soon. Anyways, though, to get us back on track, I don't remember where we were, but yes, right, the add-ons. So we've got a variety of add-ons. The ones that I want to get is the capacitor add-on and the efficiency add-on. Now to craft these, it's a whole line of things, but the final versions of them we can actually buy pretty easily from the shop. Now, they both cost a pretty penny of $125. I've shown you all my way of grinding money in the past with the bounty board, but something new has opened up, the Awakened Draconian. Now, we've gotten the rest of these guys in the past, and they all give me a good bit on their own. And when I combine them all together, I get roughly $400, give or take. When I go ahead and throw in these 32 Awakened Draconium that I'm now getting completely automatically, I get $200 right off the bat. It's amazing. We've definitely got enough for this. So yep, got 3 of each of these, so that's good. But for me to use all these, I'm also going to want to grab myself this thing, the add-on extender. The reason for this is very simple. This guy will only have so many add-on slots. Actually, if I go ahead and look in here, yeah, it'll show me. I can only do it around all of these sides. But I can make this simpler by adding an add-on extender to one of the sides, and that gets me even more across the board for these guys. So now, if I go ahead and add efficiency add-ons around these guys, we can go ahead and add one up here as well. What these will do is this will actually reduce the amount of energy that this takes to do its processes. It will reduce it by 500% per these guys. And then the capacity will increase the amount of energy that this thing is able to take in and transfer. So we can go ahead and put that along here as well. And then it should be able to take in a bunch of energy once this is ready. So now, what we had before, we were able to get like to about 200 speed, I believe this thing said. Let's go ahead and send it in again. This is good. If this thing configured properly, we should be able to get to an obscene speed now. Now this thing makes a sound that's probably not gonna get... I don't think I configured this properly. Okay, well, this thing is configured to there, so maybe I did this in the wrong order. Like, maybe I need to shift click this to here, and yeah, now its field is linked to the accelerator control. Okay, so now if we try this one more time, we should manage to get a higher speed if this thing worked properly. Because, oh, that's interesting. Why does it not appear as though, oh, wait, I think it is working. Oh, that's way different. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and put on another flux point. See if that makes any large difference. Oh, it might not be able to take in from the top. Okay, so then let me go ahead and put it from this side as well. Yeah, no, it can't take in from the top. That was the issue. Okay, so then if we go ahead and put this in now. That was the sound of the particles. Don't worry about that. Okay, so yeah, it is going to work now. Oh, okay, and then look at that speed. Oh, that is way better. Oh, that is way better. How far is this going to be able to take it? Because eventually it's going to run out. I think that's plenty. That is plenty of speed. I don't know the power. We won't know the power until we use a valid recipe. There's a few things that we can do with these. I'm gonna start with something simple. Enderic compound, just some rotten flesh and redstone. I don't think the speed matters as long as I have enough of the power in there. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take that there redstone, and we're gonna throw this in, and then we're gonna let this thing get up to a bunch of speed. Now, it should already be way over by the time it gets like really fast. Yeah, so by this point, it's fine. So I can go ahead and throw that in. The particles collide. And then we've got it right down there. And we managed to get to 3,900 joules. That is plenty for the plutonium. With this, we're gonna need to make ourselves something called plutonium. Now, of course, me needing to calculate this and how fast it goes and how far it goes, it's gonna be a bit of a pain if I'm trying to do this manually. Fortunately, there are a couple ways that this can be automated. My best bet right now is gonna be the particle accelerator speed sensor. Now, I can buy this at the Echo Radiance, but I haven't unlocked the recipe yet. So my next best bet is to craft it with an engraving. The earliest thing we need is going to be a particle accelerator sensor, which has another function, but it just needs an accelerator guide ring and an observer. That's why I've had this extra particle accelerator guide ring this whole time. Alrighty, so I've got the particle accelerator speed sensor on top of this dispenser and over a hopper. How this baby is going to work is I can set this to be how much power this thing will do before it sends out that redstone signal. We're only doing plutonium for right now. Like I said, it doesn't matter how much power or speed is going in as long as I have enough going in for this. So once I am able to get enough for me to make, like, say, a black hole, I can do that. But for testing purposes, we're just going to put it at 2,500, and then we need to link this baby. So since this is already configured, I should be able to just shift click this as well. So yeah, target particle accelerator. So this is save. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put the fluxite. Uh-oh. Wait. No. I know what's happening. The hopper is pulling it out. Can I just dispenser into it then? And this should be able to sense once it gets up to the right amount of speed, and then it should output that signal. So we know that the hopper's not gonna work, and we know that this going directly in doesn't want to work.
Eventually.
This might be stupid, but what if I just use a normal dropper rather than a dispenser? I don't know why this would work. I would have no reason to conclude this, but for some reason it did. So yep, we were able to reach 2,000 joules, and we've gotten our plutonium. All right, you know what? I can work with this. So now I can go ahead and just throw the rest of those into there, throw the rest of these into here, and now here's what's going to be beautiful about this. This will not send anything else out until this process is done. So let's go ahead and let this thing conclude, and now we got the plutonium in there. So I guess then I can go ahead and use this leftover hopper that I had to just go ahead and gather up the plutonium. Now, here's the question. Why do we need plutonium? Weirdly enough, to get plutonium. So then let's just go ahead and head on back home. And now what I need for this thing is I can mix it with a multitude of different things to varying degrees of ease. But if I want the most bang for a buck, this recipe right here with the Neutronium should be good. So let's go ahead and set that to another recipe right here. Once this thing is ready and raring to go, it should be good. We just need to let it craft the rest of this stuff up a little bit. Oh, but there we go. Now it's crafting, and that should get us our plutonium. Oh, there we go. There we go. We got ourselves our plutonium. So I believe I should just need to go ahead and take this thing out. That should be part of the quest line, right? No. I need to then take this one step further and convert it into small plutonium pellets. And that is that quest completely done. So there we go. Now we got the particle accelerator. Now, with this, the next thing it wants us to make will be the neutron collector with these small plutonium pellets. It's not hard for me to get this neutron collector. I just need strange matter, which I set up to auto crafting. I just need Fortron, also set that up to auto crafting. Flux cores, then crystal matrices, that I've definitely got that set up to replication. Advanced machine cores, yeah, I could totally set that up very easily. Really, all I need to do is just set all that to auto crafting, and we can get our neutron collector.
20 minutes later.
Alrighty, at last, we have ourselves the neutron collector. Look at it in all of its beauty. Now, I did end up actually getting the carbon moo cow, which was a bit of a pain. I needed to do a whole thing with like a clay apple and a milk bucket, just keep cycling over and over until I managed to get him. But I needed that for this recipe apparently, but here we go. This is where this is about to get fun. Let me go ahead, go over somewhere to get this set up. Would here work? Yeah, here would probably work. Okay, so let's go ahead and break down a little spot right here where we can just go ahead and start setting this stuff up. I'm gonna go ahead and put this guy right here. Look at how slow that is. It is so darn slow, but we can speed it up with tick accelerations. But even then, it's still not too terribly great with this. And I need to spend like a whole lot of time if I want to do it like that. So we're gonna want something else for this. So if we go ahead and head right back to spawn. So if we go over to you, yeah, there it is. The Watch of Flowing Time for $325. So now that we've got this, we're also going to want to grab ourselves a dark matter pedestal, which is not that difficult to get. I can already get that set up to autocrafts. Alrighty, so this is where this is about to get spicy. If I go ahead and place this baby right here, add the Watch of Flowing Time, and right click. Look at that. Natural tick acceleration constantly. If I go ahead and turn it off, it's still there. It's not as fast as it could have been with me using it with the temporal pouch. Bear this in mind. I could also speed this baby up with the temporal pouch while this is going, or alternatively, speed up the tick acceleration. And then, oh, now we're talking. Oh my gosh. Now, here's the thing. There is one more tick acceleration option that I don't know if it's better or worse than the temporal pouch, but there is a time one. Yeah, the time one. What this thing would allow me to do is it would let me tick accelerate also using time fluid, but I would need to automate the time crystals first, so probably should get around to doing that. If I can do that, I will do it. I'll do it off screen though. I really should automate the Just Dire Thing stuff soon anyways, but here we go. So now I can go ahead and put this baby up here, and then we can just slap this in there, and there we go. I've already gotten myself a good bit of these guys. We're first going to need to get ourselves the ingots, though. That shouldn't be much of a problem. We just have a little bit further to go. Oh, wait. No, I still had more neutrons on me. Okay. There we go. So now we've gotten ourselves all of that. Oh, but I'm just barely out of range. So yeah, now my range is farther than my render distance, actually. It's not rendering the box. So that's good. So now we can go ahead and add this thing into there, and there we go. Now I've got myself my neutron ingots. Oh my gosh, that is beautiful. Alrighty, this is where this is gonna get fun, but that's gonna be for later. For right now, what I need to do is open up today's chance cube. Yes, it is that part of the show where I open a chance cube, risking my life for all your entertainment. Let's go ahead and see what happens today. Really? The bees again? Seriously? Okay, you know what? No. We're not gonna run this time, because the last time I ran, I came back in a later video and I somewhat forgot about them, and then they were just right there waiting for me and they made their way back to my base. We're going on a murder spree today. Y'all better hold on for dear life, because it's Qatar time. Come on, let's go. Oh, wait, they don't count as hostile mobs, because, okay, well, let's go and slay all. There we go. Slay all. Yes. Yes. Beautiful. And now they have all died. Oh, yeah, and also I managed to reincarnate Pickles finally. So did you like this video? Good. Be sure to check out our last Stoneblock 4 video where we did the draconic fusion crafting for a tier 8 dragon core. Bye-bye.